Hello there and welcome back to Build with the Boys. It's time for our weekly catch-up. Got to address something first. We are building the Titanic, and as of right now, I'm sure you would be aware of the, heartbreaking incident with the men trapped in the submersible that were visiting the Titanic, or trying to visit the wreck site. Our heart is with their family and them, and we're hoping that this has a happy ending. As of right now, the last we heard was they have less than 20 hours of breathable air left. So it's not looking great. I really hope they don't become a sad story of the Titanic. That area of the Atlantic has claimed more than enough victims. It doesn't need more. So fingers crossed that they are found and they are saved. Let's hope that happens for them. Build-wise this week, we have the Disney Doll's house, and you can see it behind me here. It's growing so fast. And I've got to be honest with you, I know a lot of you don't build the Disney Doll's house, sort of based on the views on my channel. I know which ones you like and which ones you don't. Yeah. I love this model, man. I really do. It's very different to everything else. So everything else is very screwdriver and nut and bolt, and this is what we do. But this is wildly different. So it's a completely different set of building with it, because it's wooden. We do a lot of wallpapering and these little details and gluing and whatnot. But it's a dream, man. Honestly, it's an absolute dream. If I take my other models as kind of the meat, the kind of the meal, that's the dessert, man, because it's always just so much, it's almost just so much fun to build. It always is. I've never had a bad issue. I've had some where it's like, and they're a little tricky, and I've had some that are fiddly, but it's always a joy, man. It's just a joy to build, and it builds so fast, and I love it. I really do. It's just a joy to build. I never thought I'd enjoy it as much as I have done, but I really have, and I will be very sad when it's finished, because we are getting that way. I mean, we're on 74 now of 120. 74? Yeah, 74 of 120. So we are getting that way. I mean, this time next year, the main build will be finished. There is an extension to it, which I'm hoping to do. But I'll miss building that house, man. I will. It's just been an absolute joy, and I kind of hope there's another one available on the market, because I think I'd like to do another one. I do. We are due Infinity Gauntlet, but, and I don't know if anyone else experienced this, because if you're building the Infinity Gauntlet, if you've seen this as well, please let me know. On my portal, it tells me there's a delay expected on this one, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. I was kind of hoping it would be here this week, but they've said there's a delay on the portal, so it's unlikely that the Gauntlet's going to turn up this week. Maybe next week, I don't know, but there's definitely a delay. It is what it is. But this is our first pack of 5, and we're also due to be getting the posters in this one, the art prints. I really hope it's not the art prints holding this up, because that sometimes happens. Sometimes the free gift that was intended holds up the whole bloody delivery. It's like, just keep the gift, just send me the parts. But I don't know. Normally Fan Home are really good. So the one thing I will give Fan Home is this, that if there's going to be a delay, they tell you that this is going to be delayed. Eagle Moss never did that, and Hachette rarely do that. It's got to be really late for Hachette to say there's a delay to this, because Hachette have done this with Batman 2 months in a row. So on the last one, they told us it was being shipped out, and I want to say it was like the 15th of May. It wasn't. It was shipped out on like the 22nd, I think. And then they've done it again. So they said the next one's being shipped out on the 22nd of June. So your Batman should probably be saying the next 6 are being shipped out tomorrow. I promise you they're not. You can tack 2 more weeks onto that. These aren't going to be shipped until the very end of June, possibly the first week of July. So if you're expecting your tumbler to ship tomorrow and be here maybe the weekend, it's not. Their site is not, it's clearly geared up to just roll monthly. So when something's dispatched, it jumps 4 weeks and tells you that's the next dispatch date. It's not picking up that 6-week window. I don't know why, but it isn't. So if you're expecting your tumbler to ship tomorrow, your tumbler ain't going to ship tomorrow, I assure you. But it will be. I mean, it'll be coming now. So the weekly people, so the newsagent people, will now start going ahead with the subscribers for 3 weeks. So they'll get up to issue 20. No, they won't. They'll get up to issue, I don't know. Yeah, they will. 17, 18, 19. They'll get up to 19. And then the subscribers ones will turn up and we'll get up to 22. Then the newsagent, it's a mess. It's a whole mess. But That'll be good because we're building the chair. So when Tumbler does arrive, we are finishing off the HUD. So the steering console, we're finishing that off, putting some joysticks and whatnot on there and some widgets and ding-dongs and who's-ma fudges and doodads. And then we are working on the pilot chair. So that's going to look sexy, man. I mean, the chairs in these vehicles are always nice. I always love the chairs in these vehicles. The DeLorean chairs look great. The Knight Rider chairs look great. They look of that era. They look fantastic. I've always liked the chairs in these things. They always look amazing. So I would imagine the Tumbler chair is going to be badass. That's going to be... It's gonna look real nice, and I can't wait to see that. And it looks like this is what we're doing for the foreseeable. We are building the cockpit of the Tumbler, and the Tumbler's cockpit is nice, man. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. Still no idea how that steering's gonna work, or if it's going to work, because it definitely is not working from the console. The steering wheel attaches, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't go anywhere. So I don't know if those wheels are going to move by a motor. It seems weird that we would have gone to that effort of making these so they can do that with everything. There's no mechanism at all that turns them. So maybe a remote will do it. I don't know. I hope it does. It'd be nice if it does. If it doesn't, I'm not that bothered, to be honest with you, because as I said, most of these will go in a case and that'll be the end of it. We are scarily close as well now. Scarily close to Ecto1 shipping. We're less than a month away from Ecto1 shipping from Fan Home, and be still my beating heart. I just want to finish that car, right? It's at this point now where I'm like, I just want this done. It is bittersweet. It really is, because as much as I just want it finished, I think I will be a little bit emotional when I am, because the amount of change that's happened in our life since we started building that car. And I will tell you this, when we finish it, I will tell you the story of why we started building it. And it changed dramatically. So when we started building Ecto1, the world was a very different place. COVID was a thing that was happening in China. It wasn't really affecting us over here. Oscar, who's now nearly 13, was 9 years old when we started building that car, and we still haven't finished it yet. That's insane. So we went through a lot. We went through a lot whilst we were building that, and it got us through a lot. So as pissed off as I am with Eagle Moss, which I think is understandable. I mean, you've got to move on, right? You can't just stay angry at Eagle Moss. Seeing that car end, I think, is a nice closure to a chapter of my life that was very bittersweet. And this is what I think we get with models. So I think I've mentioned this before on the channel, but a lot of the Road Life and Roker models that I build, I typically buy one to mark an occasion. So anytime I started a new job, I'd buy a Road Life or Roker model. Now, if you look at this, that's a lot of models on those shelves. Yeah, I know. So if I start a new job, I buy one. But it's not just that. I've bought ones where it's my birthday, or I bought one to celebrate the kid's first day of school. I've bought one to celebrate the kid's last day of school. And I build these things. And for me, it's like a photo album. So I can look at one, I go, I know why I bought that. I know why I bought that one. I know that one was what I got for this. And that was when I got this. And that was... So that's how I remember things. And Ecto1 is... It represents a very strange time in my life. It represents the very start of 2020 through to right now. And where we are now is wildly different to where we were when we started. We're in a different house, for Christ's sake. So it'll be nice to see it finished. And my case is being built. So I do have a case from my case people being built. And when that's done, I will show it to you. And I can give you an update on those cases as well. That is still all very full steam ahead. What we're going to do is once mine's done, I can show it to you and you can see for yourselves. And if you are still as interested as you have been up to that point, then there'll be progression with you being able to get your own versions of these cases. They're beautiful. You can take a word for it now, but when you see it your own, they are gorgeous. They are absolutely stunning. They're beautiful cases. The one thing I can tell you about them is they're not cheap. So it's not like if you're thinking, oh, that'd be 20 quid. No, these are what they are. They are competitive in their pricing, but they're certainly not cheap. There will be various options though. So there will be a budget option, which will be a lot cheaper. There will be a premium option. There'll be a high-end option. A high-end option basically means you can have anything you want done to it. So it's as customizable as you want it to be at that price point. So if you wanted, I mean, for instance, if you have the Ecto1, if you wanted the Ghostbusters logo on the case, where it's sort of etched into the actual case, you could have that. If you wanted your name and your details and the dates of when you started to when you ended it, in the case, you can have that. If you want the case to light up, so that's the material itself will light up. You can get a glow. So if you want like the green glow to go over the Ecto, whatever you wanted, you could do that. If you want bases, if you want rotation, if you want, you can have all of that. So that's what high end would be. So the sky's the limit on that one, really. It's what you want it to be. So it'd be as customizable as you want it to be. Then the premium case is gorgeous. It's got invisible fastenings, so you can't see where any of it's attached. It's gorgeous. This is premium quality stuff. It's lovely, but I keep harping on about it. When I've got one, I'll show you and you'll see it for yourself. So at the moment, they have my base. They've got my Ghostbusters base, and they're making the frame to fit that, and it's gonna look exquisite, man. So we're expecting Ecto1 to be finished in September, I think. If it ships in July, let's give it a little bit. Say that's going to turn up in August. The next one will ship in August. Let's say that turns in September. September will be done. So Ecto1, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be complete in September. I've got very little to do. I had 7 packs to do, but for whatever reason, Fan Home are saying there's only 6 left. And we've discussed this before. I believe the 7th, the very last part, was probably going to be a dust cover that they've just gone, let's nix that and not bother. But we'll see. But I can't. I just want to see Ecto1 finished, like so many of you. And again, the other thing that happens on July the 17th is not just Ecto1. It's also Enterprise D. For all the you out there that are building the Enterprise D, they've got that massive saucer with all built up with nowhere to go. Well, that's going to be happening as well. So you will be able to start your Enterprises again. And God bless Fan Home for doing that for us, because it was bleak, man. I mean, it was literally this time last year that they went belly up. So we've been a year with no real progress on any of those models. So it's nice to see that the DeLorean shipping again. It's nice to see that the Eleanor shipping again. It's nice to see that these things are coming back to life. It really is. We're just waiting for that Ecto now, man. I just want that finished. I really do. What else have we got coming up? A lot. So we have more Titanic to come. Titanic, we're going back to superstructure. So at least for the next 8, we're on superstructure. But that's just looking crazy impressive. I'm very, very happy with that model. I really am. New builds, nothing that I've heard of. So there's nothing really in the pipeline. I've heard rumblings of things that have not yet been confirmed. And until they are, I'm certainly not gonna, yeah, that's not happening. I've heard rumblings of things that are coming. I've seen things that are supposed to be coming, but until I've actually, my lips are sealed. But I think everything I've seen, if any of it turns up, I think we're all going to be happy, because I've seen some lovely things. I really have. Some of those have been trials, some of those haven't. So I've seen the ones that have been trialed. I mean, you know what they are, all the ones that have been trialed at the moment. Any of those turn up, I think we're going to be happy. It looks increasingly like Lancaster Bomber's not going to be until December, January. That's what that looks like. I was kind of expecting Lancaster Bomber to be released around about now. I might be wrong, and it might come out of nowhere. They might surprise us like they did with I think the Stobart launched in September or August. Who knows? They might go, bam, here's a summer release, and if they do, I'm all over it. But I think it's likely that's going to be their kind of big push. They do this every year. So this year, the sort of big push from Hachette was the Tumbler. The year before that, the big push was the Titanic, and to a degree, the Disney Doll's House. This year, it was the Tumbler, and to a degree, the Alien. Next year, I'm sure it's going to be the Lancaster Bomber. It's going to be the big one they'll start hawking around about Boxing Day. And possibly Batman. So I think because the Tumbler's been successful, I think seeing them push ahead with releasing that Batman figure here. Now, I'm expecting Lancaster to follow a similar model to the Tumbler, where it's every 6 weeks. I'm expecting Batman to be more akin to the Alien model. I can see that being, this isn't fact, this is just a prediction. So don't take my word for this. I can see that being the method. I can see it being 6 packs on Lancaster, and I can see it being the 10-pack monthly subscription on the Batman. That's where I can see this going, because it looks like it's following the exact same model as the Alien did in France. So by the time that they'll be coming toward the end of it in France, they'll start launching it here and blah, blah, blah. That's what I think is going to happen. I might be right, I might be wrong, I don't know. I'm not going to build the Batman. I've got nowhere for a 3-foot Batman to go. I'm not I'm not interested in it. I think I really like the Terminator. I thought the Terminator was great. The Alien has put me right off those giant models. It just has. Terminator for me worked because it was a robot. So you can scroll the bits together and it looks good. Alien didn't work for me because all that rubber skin and not for me. And then the tail falling off at the thing doing a nosedive. The head didn't really move at the speed that it was advertised at. It's a nice looking model. I can't fault the look of it, but there was just too many errors with that thing, man, that just put me off it. And Batman, I can kind of see the same thing happening because I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. I'm guessing at some point we're going to start gluing latex to that Batman. I can just see it coming. I can see it coming. I think at the moment they're building all these little bits and pieces like the wrist and the arm and stuff like that. But I can see it coming. They're going to start. You just know it's going to happen. And then I question what the quality of the cape is going to be like. Is the cape just going to be like a shower curtain? Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing. Now that is a very easy mod. So if the cape is crap, it's not difficult to get a cape sourced. Do you know what I mean? You can have whatever material you want. But I've got a feeling that cape is going to come all folded up and it's going to be, again, I might be wrong. I can just see it, man. There'll be like some shower curtain that's sort of draped over it with creases in it still. I can just kind of see that happening. So I'm off those big figures, man. The one that does appeal to me, though, bizarrely, was the one that was tested over in France, the E.T. If they release the E.T., I think I'd do the E.T. I think it's so weird that it appeals to me. E.T. was the first movie I went to see at the cinema. I was 3. Now, this is the weird thing. I can remember it. I have got we'll talk about this one day. I have got a very weird memory. I don't really forget anything. And I do have memories of E.T. And I'll tell you what I can remember. I can remember my brother freaking out. It's scaring my brother, who was older than me. My brother would have been 5. But I can remember my brother freaking out and crying and my mum having to comfort him. And it wasn't a sad bit in E.T. It was at the bit where E.T. and Gertie see each other for the first time and they're just screaming at each other. And it made him scream and cry. And I can remember that happening. But I would have been nearly 4, but I was 3 years old when we went to see that. But I remember it. That was my first movie. So I have an affection for E.T. And I like that model. I just did. I thought it looked cool. I'd have to see a little bit more of it. But again, it's got to involve that latex skin. It's just got to. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm conflicted. We do have, like I said, we've got a lot more coming up on the channel. I'm off next week, so I have a rare holiday. So this is bizarre. This is the first proper time off I've had since July of last year. We took the kids to Butlins last year. I've not really had any time off since then. I had some time off to move. It wasn't time to relax. That was harder than work. But this is the first time off I've had, proper time off I've had since July of last year, and I need it because I'm, you might not get this reference, I'm what is known in my industry as road tired. It's a very strange version of tired. It's where, it's really hard to explain. The weird thing about it is I've not had this since before the pandemic, because the world kind of closed down and we started Zooming and doing things like that. I've not experienced it in years and I'd sort of forgotten about it, and now I'm older. Road tired is really getting to me. It's a level of tired where every fibre of your being is tired. So I'm physically tired, I'm mentally tired, I'm emotionally tired, I am every type of tired you can be in one hit, and we call it road tired. And there's one cure for that, and that is to do nothing. That's it. The only cure for road tired is to do nothing at all. You've got to just, I'm done, I'm out, I'm done. So the phone goes off, I'm not answering anything to do with work, and that's it. And you completely unwind and relax. And my version of unwind and relaxing is building things, to sit in here for a week and just build little things. Not all of them are going to make it to the channel. There are little crafts I want to build. I'm building a ghost in a jar for Jack. Maybe we'll put that on the channel, but I'm sure you can imagine what a ghost in a jar looks like. But I'm building a little ghost in a jar for Jack. I've got some other bits and pieces I want to do. I've got some modifications I want to make to a couple of things. I've got some Roker and Row Life models I'm going to build. I'm going to catch up on some movies. I'm going to sleep in early. I'm going to stay up late watching bad 80s movies. And I'm just going to chill and have some time to myself. And it's needed. It's really needed. And I think everybody needs to do that. I know it's not the most practical thing in the world, but the reality of it is you got to take time for yourself. As we said back in November, when we were talking about International Men's Day, your mental health is wildly important. It really is. And I've told you before about the struggles I've had, and I speak to a lot of you through email and things like that, and I know a lot of you experience the same things. You do. And it's good that you can talk about it. And as I've always said, I'm always happy to talk to you. I know it's not easy to say to a loved one, a wife, a girlfriend, a brother, a sister, a husband, whatever it is, boyfriend, I ain't doing great. I know that's not the easiest thing to do because I've lived that life, and I know it's not easy to do. But if you ever feel the need to offload to somebody, offload to me, offload to a stranger, because I will listen to you. I would listen to your problems rather than have your family, listen to your eulogy. So if you ever need to offload, I'm available. So buildwiththeboys@outlook.com. I will always talk to you. And taking care of yourself is important. It really is. It's been too long since we sort of spoke about this. We spoke back in November. But again, if you're ever struggling, please, I will talk to you. But it is important you talk. On a lighter note, what we've been watching. So we have binged the hell out of it. I watched all of season 6 of Black Mirror. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen Black Mirror. If you haven't seen Black Mirror, I can't recommend it enough because there are no bad episodes of Black Mirror. Not one. There are episodes you might not like. Doesn't make them bad episodes. If you can't find an episode of Black Mirror that you love, there's something wrong with you, because there's always, everyone's got a favourite one, everyone's got a different reason for having that favourite one. But for those of you who don't know what Black Mirror is, if you know what the Twilight Zone is, Black Mirror is kind of like that, but it's a lot more grounded in reality, but it's set in the not too distant future. So every episode of Black Mirror is a standalone story. There are little strange Easter eggs that link each one, but typically you can watch one episode and never watch any more. So you can pick any episode of any season, jump straight in, and you'll be all right. There's no reason to watch from season 1 to season 6. You can watch them in any order you want to watch them in. They are standalone little films. And they're all based on, well, I say that, they used to be based on technology and our kind of obsession with it and how we let it infect every aspect of our life. Hence the name Black Mirror. The reason why it's called Black Mirror is because we spend a lot of our time gawking at black mirrors, like I'm sure a lot of you are doing now, which is essentially your phone screen. If you turn it off, you can see that reflection of yourself in a black mirror, hence the name Black Mirror. That's where it comes from. But it deals with all kinds of technology, be it AI, be it internet, be it whatever. It deals with aspects of technology, some of it that doesn't exist, some of it is just kind of like it's fantastic though, and it's, I wouldn't say morality tales, but they've definitely got a sting to them. Some are gorgeous, though. There are some beautiful stories in there, but unfortunately there's a lot of fairly heavy ones. If you've never seen Black Mirror, episode 1 is a baptism of fire. Episode 1 is called The National Anthem. If you can get through episode 1, you'll love the series. But I think episode 1 is almost there for vetting purposes. So it's like, let's just weed out quite a few people early doors, because episode 1 is bloody strong. It really is. And you're like, what? But if you can get on board with that, you'll be welcomed into a very weird world. And season 6 has just been on. Now, the interesting thing with season 6 is they've said they want to do something different with Black Mirror. So rather than keep it technology themed, there's a couple of episodes in there that are exploring different elements of that. So there's one of them that, rather than the technology itself, focuses on the media. So kind of how the paparazzi were. So this goes back to 2002, this episode. Where they hanged kind of a girl, almost like they've done with Britney Spears and other celebrities over the years, where they've just kind of, rather than help someone when they're going through a breakdown, just take pictures of it. And it's kind of based on that. But then it's got it takes a massive swerve and goes somewhere else. And then we have an episode that's Black Mirror presents a Red Mirror film, which is the first sort of supernatural one they've done. And it's very good. It's set in 1979. It's called Demon 79. And it's about a demon that is trying to prevent the apocalypse. It's very good. But they're great. Honestly, they are really good. I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't seen Black Mirror, the fact that I'm very jealous of you if you haven't, because it means you've got 6 seasons to catch up on. The weirdest, most wonderful stories you'll ever watch. And it really is good. It's strong. but I can't recommend it enough. I think it's fantastic. If you're thinking, I don't like scary, horrible things, or I can't handle that, just watch one episode. Watch the episode called San Junipero. So if you've never seen a Black Mirror, but you want to see what it's about, but you don't particularly like anything gory or graphic or nasty, San Junipero. It's a beautiful episode. It'll give you an idea of what the show's about, but it's not. It's a nice Black Mirror episode. There's not many of them, but San Junipero is a thing of beauty. It really is. The other thing we're going to be watching, we're going to watch immediately after this. So I've got the kid downstairs waiting for me to finish this up, so we can go and watch Secret Invasion. So I can't tell you, but on the next one, I'll tell you what we think of Secret Invasion. I'm hoping it's good, man. Marvel have been swinging a miss at the moment, haven't they, with quite a few things. It's peaks and troughs. So we go from something great to something to something great to something and that's kind of where we're on this ride at the moment with Marvel. And I'd prefer this to that, to be honest with you. But we go great, then we go ugh. So yeah, let's see what this is. I don't know. It might be fantastic. It might be terrible. Naturally, it's about the Skrulls. I would imagine it's based on the comic book of the same thing, where the Skrulls have been here forever, secretly invading the Earth. Now, in the comic, they use this as a device to bring back a lot of the dead heroes. So they could use it to bring back Captain America. Captain America was killed, but then it turns out Captain America wasn't killed. It was a Skrull that was actually killed that looked like Captain America. So who knows? Maybe they're doing a wipe and a reset. I don't know, but we'll find out. Loads coming up on the channel because I'm off work. I do enjoy this. This is fun. This is therapy for me. So I'll be doing a lot of this, road tired or not. I enjoy this. This helps me relax. So there will be a lot of videos up next week, a hell of a lot. There'll be a couple up this weekend. And we've got some more fun stuff coming up. We will be doing another Ask Me Anything. I've had a few people ask, are you doing another Ask Me Anything? Yes, if I didn't get your question last time, I'm sorry. We had 9 questions left that we didn't get through. So I will do those. Well, I say I'll do those. We'll do the same thing as last time. So if you'd like to ask a question to Ask Me Anything, send it to buildingtheboys@outlook.com. But in the title, put Ask Me Anything, right? I won't read it. We'll give it to my wife. She reads them, and then we'll just do them live as such as we go through them. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. Helps us massively. We love having you along for the journey. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. And I will catch you very, very soon for more from Building the Boys. Thank you for stopping by. I will see you then.